I settle into my campsite and make dinner, I think I'm going to go try to find one geocache. One near the front entrance to Lincoln Woods, so let's go see if we can find that one. So geocaches tend to show up in some unsuspecting places. Like an old tree log. There it is. Now, I'm not going to tell you what cache this is, because I want to leave you guys a chance to find it for yourself, but you got to remember to look in tree logs. You know, log assigned. Then take that, stick it back inside the cup. Cover on the cup. Keep the water out. And drop it back inside the log. Like that. Leaves back on top. And away we go. Okay, so that one was an easy find. So I'm going to go try another one that's nearby. So back across the suspension bridge, and then look up the other side of the trail for a bit here. Then we're going to go back and we're going to start making some dinner. This bridge is pretty cool. Yeah, looks like a wood platform, but it's definitely a suspension bridge. I can feel the bounce in it as I'm walking across it. I've been out here many times. They've even snowshoed across this bridge. There's the Kangamangas Highway. I bet this place looks spectacular when the fall foliage is at peak. It's somewhere in this space over here. Just off the trail here. Into my GPS, I'm about 20 some odd feet from it now. Yeah, I just spotted it. A little up the trail a bit there. You can sort of see it. Let's get up the hill here. And there it is. So inside, we've got the logbook, which will come out. Oh, logbook. Little toys and trinkets, sort of stuff there. All kinds of weird stuff inside. If I wanted to take one, I'd have to leave something, but I don't want to take any of them. I'm just going to sign the logbook. Nothing here I want. Just going to put it back where I found it, so somebody else can find it. So, if you guys want a good challenge, I suggest giving it a try. Alright, 2 caches found. Now it's time to head back and start making some dinner. It's almost 5 o'clock. We're going to be losing the light soon. I was hoping to get out and do some sunset photography, but the clouds rolled in before I could do that. Some ways I hope they go out so I can do some nighttime photography later tonight. And in some ways I hope they actually stay so the temperature will stay a little warmer here. Last night was brutal. The van's not quite ready for that yet, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. It was a fun little hike. Found 2 geocaches. And now it's time to get the fire pit going and start making some dinner. First thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to get the heater turned on in the van. Start warming that space up for tonight. I made some changes to the setup in here. I added more blankets and sealed up the windows a little bit better. After last night it got cold. So, oop. Now it just got dark. Oh well. We'll have more on this in a little bit. In the meantime, we got to get the heater started. 37 degrees outside, 54 in the van though, so blankets actually do seem to be helping. You see those little white specks on top of my camping chair? That's snow. It's snowing. Awesome. Not much to see, but it is snowing. actually pretty comfortable inside the van right now there with the heater going. 36 degrees outside, 55 degrees in the van, and I think it's going to get a little bit warmer in here as the evening progresses. So, alright, so we're going to make some dinner. So I'm going to try some new stuff here. I'm not sure how any of it's going to come out yet, but we're going to give it a shot. I got a few different things I'm going to be making tonight. First, I got some chicken strips. I'm going to be seasoning them, wrapping them up in tin foil, putting them on the fire pit. I've got some mashed potatoes. I have some squash. And something else I'm going to try doing. I got some stovetop stuffing. Now, they only sell it in big boxes like this. I need single serving sizes. So I'm going to try to split this up into like four separate equally sized amounts. I'm not sure if I'll get it right or not, but I got some small zipper bags I picked up at Stop and Shop. And I'm just going to try to measure out with my measuring cup here to the correct amount of each serving though. I have no idea what's going to happen on this one. But let's give it a try, see if we can measure out some single serving size ones. Unfortunately, they just say it's 6 ounces in here. That's obviously by weight, not by volume. Now you got to do it by volume. So I'm going to try to guesstimate what 1/4 of this bag is. This is where having a bigger measuring cup would have been handy because I could see exactly how much is in here. So this is way more than a cup. The seasoning is obviously settled to the bottom too. I miss it when they put the seasoning in a separate little seasoning pack. It made things so much easier for this sort of thing. But alright, no problem. We can work with that. Yep, there's all the seasoning on the bottom. Alright. Put the seasoning into it. The next task is to actually find out how much is in here. There's 1 cup. There's 1 cup. Now we're going to do a second cup of it. Same thing. There's a second cup. There's 2 cups. And of course the one with all the seasoning in it, because the seasoning settled to the bottom again. You say about 1/2 cup. Alright, so we got 2.5 cups. 2.5 cups of stuffing mix. That would mean each serving needs to be about less than 3/4 of a cup. So that's what we're going to strive for. All the seasoning keeps settling to the bottom. That's no good. I don't think this experiment is going to work as well as I'd like it to, but let's give it a shot anyway. Okay, that should be 1 serving. Some of the seasoning in here. Definitely not going to be a scientifically accurate approach, but it'll work. The hardest part right here. Seasoning in there. In there. It looks like it's got plenty of seasoning, so there we go. Alright. we have 4 servings of stuffing. Now, in the instructions here where it calls for 1.5 cups of water, you'd actually just use 3 ounces of water. I'll give you 1/4 of it, and then it calls for a 1/4 cup of margarine or butter. It also says it's 4 tablespoons, so obviously you just do 1 tablespoon. And that's it, and then otherwise you just follow the instructions. So I'm just going to combine those ingredients into a very small saucepan, heat it up, and I'll have myself a dish of stuffing. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next food item, and that's the chicken. So we got the chicken strips here. So I'm going to wrap them up in some tin foil. Yeah. Okay, put some of that maple bacon seasoning on it. That's really good. Two pieces over. Other side. Have a heavy dose of maple bacon seasoning on them. Just wrap them up. So I get the cooking grate down, the fire going, and now the chicken's on it. And it's going to come out every few minutes, flip it over until it's done. No idea how long it's going to take. But it's 5:58 p.m. now, so probably give it a half an hour. Okay, so next we're going to work on the squash. I just bought at Market Basket a pre-packaged thing of squash. There's probably way more squash than I need. And just me. But we got it. We'll use it. And it's defrosting very nicely because it was supposed to be in the freezer. It was in the fridge. A little water to it. They say to add a tablespoon. I'm not measuring out a tablespoon exactly. Cover it and cook it on low heat for about 15 minutes. It won't take anywhere near that long though. No, gas is off. I knew that. That's better. Alright. So the squash is done. Now it's time to make the stuffing finally. So I'm just going to use the same pan I cooked the squash in because it's all ending up in the same place anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, tablespoon of butter. And there. Should be good. And we need 3 ounces of water. That in. Oops. Let's bring the water to a boil first. Oh well. I screwed up. That's fine. It'll be fine anyway. Okay, so the stuffing didn't take long at all. So that's done. Now we're just waiting on the chicken. Oh no, we gotta make some mashed potatoes too. I don't know. I think I got enough food here. I think I'm going to skip the mashed potatoes, actually. I think I got plenty of food here. If I add the chicken into this, that'll be enough. I don't need any more. Alright, so the chicken's been on the fire pit for about a half an hour. So I don't know if it's done or not, but let's find out. It's plenty hot. Let's see what the chicken itself looks like inside here. See if it needs more time or not. Certainly is plenty hot. Ooh, look at that. Is it done? That's the question. Looks done. Here's dinner. We got squash, we got stuffing, we got fire roasted chicken. The only thing it's missing is gravy because I forgot to buy chicken gravy. I meant to, but I forgot to. So I'm gonna have to eat this without gravy, I'm afraid. Otherwise, it looks pretty darn good to me. The thing to do is see how it tastes. That chicken's good. That's real good. I like that stuff. Glad I bought that seasoning. Alright, we got ourselves a good meal here. So today was a fun day. Managed to get in 2 geocaches. I got about 5 or 6 miles of hiking in. I had a great dinner. I've had a good day today, and despite the fact that it got really cold last night, which I'm expecting it to do the same thing again tonight. It's already down to 29 degrees again. So I'm expecting it to be just as cold tonight. Maybe even colder, who knows. It was fun getting up this morning. I made some adjustments to my layout here. It seems to already be a big improvement. I've resealed up all the windows here better with blankets and stuff now. So there's less gaps in them. Last night I didn't have a blanket at all in the window behind the camera. I now have one on that one too. I hate not being able to see outside at night, but it does keep the van warmer. Those windows are probably the coldest point. It's a learning experience. That's the coldest temperature I've ever camped in. And the first really cold weather in the van too. So I'm trying to figure out how to get the van set up correctly for this. So far I'm liking the layout now. I've got some good ideas for the final build when I start working on that probably this winter. And I think it's going to work out well. And once I get some good insulation, and how did a fly get in here? Where did he come from? Anyway, once I get some good insulation set up there and everything else there, I think this van's going to be nice and warm and toasty. Get a proper heater, something I can safely run all night while I'm sleeping, and I'll be much better equipped for these trips at that point. So it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of time and stuff like that. I'm going to try to keep the cost down as much as I can. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, it's getting on time for bed here. It's after 9 o'clock. Probably going to watch some more YouTube videos, check in over the internet to some of my ham radio buddies, and then I'm going to go off to sleep. So we'll catch you guys in the morning. I'll have to edit that out.